I'm Emmett Martin, I'm 19 and I'm from Bruce Arva, County Cavan in Cornafean.
I'm Emma Maguire from Bruce.
I know it was named after Edward Bruce, the High King of Ireland at the time. In 1315 he set up camp in Bruce, so it was named after him. The other kind of major point in history it had was Monroe was coming down from Antrim and they're ready to fight the army of Ulster that Owen O'Neill was the head of. Owen O'Neill was heavily outnumbered and he knew that Monroe set up camp and had Bruce Mountain in his view, so he took his army and split them up into three different squads. So one squad, foot squad, would walk over the mountain while the other squad would wrap around the back and the third squad would be ready to go over. So they continued the cycle for hours on end until eventually Monroe got scared and he retreated back to Antrim.
Well, sure, you can see, I think this latest thing is, you'd be more familiar, 7 or 8 counties of it, I think there. It's not what I'm reading now, but I could never know, never had a camera or anything when I was going to the mountain.
It's the only place in Ireland where you can see 3 provinces and 10 counties at any given time, at the same time. There's walls built behind us from pre-famine times. There's 3 burial tombs. There's a quarry also on the mountain which was discontinued in possibly the 80s or the 90s.
My family is there on my father's side, so they're from Swadlin Bar, but they lived at Newton Goa for a while and they seemed to be fairly travelled, and then they came to, my father and his brother Bob came to Bruce in 1939. Well, sure, you see, the mountain was all overgrown when my father, he knew how to use these mountains, and every couple of years he used to burn it, and it kept the heather at bay. And about a month or 2 after it was burned, there was a lovely green sprout of grass, which was just ideal for yearling heifers and that my father used to have on the mountain. My father and his brother Bob, like.
As far as I know, it goes back to my great-grandfather James Martin, who would have farmed the same land that we farm and lived across the road from here down in the home place. But it could go back many a generation before that. I just don't personally know. So James lived down at the house below the road, and then my granddad John lived there, and he had 10 children, and one was my father, and then there was me.
Well, I think when I was a youngster in the late 40s, early 50s, I think there was 16 families living in Bruce.
There's 8 families, I believe, in the mountain at the minute. That's, 50% or less than what it would have been 70 or 80 years ago. And pre-famine times, there was 60 families upwards on the top of the actual mountain itself, let alone down here in the lower parts. So it's on a steep decline because our family ourselves are all away doing college or working and away from the area, and it's not expanding really. There's no real youth around the area.
Well, all my memories are nearly off it. Someone was able to walk, about 3-year-old that was up on the top of the mountain. My father always had a young stock on the mountain, so from whenever I was able to walk, I used to be going up during the summer months.
I suppose you've got your kind of usual ones of looking at cows and baling and the whole lot, but the most prominent is picking stones. One summer when I was about 8, up on the mountain, we had 12 acres and picked stones in it, and it was just pure misery. It's great now, it's probably the best fields we have, and it's great to look at it and see the hard work you put in, but it really was horrendous manual labour at the time for an 8-year-old. I'd be hoping personally to still live in the mountain when I'm older, or still stay in it, and I'd be hoping that some of the other youth of the areas, of people in their 20s, will be thinking that similar in the future to settle down.